How's it going, ladies and bruises? I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome to Mothmen 1966. I know, I'm a little bit late to the party on this one, but you knew I was aware of it and I've been meaning to get around to it for a while, and I hear it's quite short as well, so I think this is the perfect time to jump into it and play through it because I was very excited about it. I really like the this sort of lo-fi, low-res aesthetic that we got with this and Critters for Sale and all that. So let's jump in, shall we, and see how spooky it is. It's meant to be spooky, I believe. We get to pick a person? Oh, we only get one person. Maybe we have to run through it multiple times to get different people? 3 red and 5 black in the discard pile. Of the 6 cards face up on the counter, 2 are red and 4 are black. So 5 red in all. And 9 black. You have no more moves. So you have to bet now. Oh shit. What? Black. A large majority of the face-up cards are black. And you know that betting against a streak is usually dangerous. Even though you've already chosen, you decide to stay away from the counter. You can't bear losing again. You think of your grandma, Elise, trying to win at solitaire for over 60 years. You take a deep breath and keep sweeping. Elise has been paralysed from the waist down since she was 21. Your mum was only 2 months old. The winter Elise taught you to play solitaire. Your parents and sister had been dead for almost a year, and you'd already begun to forget their faces. Although you cook for her, do her laundry, bathe and even dress her, it still feels like she's the one taking care of you. You close your eyes and almost feel Elise stroking your hair. You're 11 years old again, kneeling next to her bed, crying your heart out. How did you know? Suddenly the bell rings and you feel an invisible force trying to drag you into the present. Look through the window. Those fucking kids. The first spread is followed by 2 more. They step on the hose and activate the bell for a second time, and a third time. You don't know what comes over you, but you yell some things at them that you're too ashamed to remember. You justify yourself thinking that they might be the ones who got into your garage that night and stole some parts of the replica machine gun that you're building. Why are you building that? You won't let anyone mess with your project. The Winans steam machine guns is the jewel of your collection. Steam machine? Okay, that's pretty badass. The kids yell at you, old freak, and laugh, sheltered by the distance. Deep down you know that it can't be them. How would they know which parts of the machine gun were worth stealing? Anyway, that guard dog's been brought over in a few days and you'll be able to stop worrying. Check the hose. You think about what someone told you at the bar, about replacing the hose with a thicker one, so that it can only be activated by the weight of a car. And what happens if the kids jump on it with their bikes and land on top of the hose with one of their wheels? You asked. Kids are always going to find some way to bust your balls, they replied. You try to calm down. You look at the shelves and think of the solitaire that your grandma taught you. Your grandma always said that everyone has their place in the world, and that people keep dancing around it without ever reaching it. To win the solitaire, you have to stop dancing. You know what the chances of winning? Chances of winning are incredibly low. Almost 0. You can't bring yourself to turn over the next card and decide to start sorting the shelves instead. Doing simple jobs builds up your self-confidence and provides you some illusion of control. Lower shelf seems easier. Bottle. Replace something from the middle shelf? I don't know. Can? Wait, what am I doing? Oh, do I have to match? I have to match what's here, right? So it's like green on top, then blue? Something like that. This one's red. I don't know. I don't know. I'm assuming this is a puzzle, right? So, middle shelf? In the middle? Then you got a bottle? Lower shelf? Empty? Check shelves. The shelves aren't sorted yet. Alright, fine. So I'll just put all the bottles in the bottom shelf. And all the boxes in the top shelf. And I don't know, something like that. Middle shelf, bottle, bottom shelf, can, middle shelf, empty. There you go. How's that? Good. One type of product on each shelf. Okay, I guess it wasn't a puzzle. Guess I was overestimating what I was going to be expected to do. You scratch your head. This time sorting the shelves doesn't help. You feel the same urgency as before, and you can't think of anything else. Is the card going to be black? You need it to be black. Suddenly the air seems heavy and you find it a bit difficult to breathe. 3 men in black are staring at you. Through the window you see a black Cadillac by the pump. Yes? You wish you'd asked them how they got into the station without you hearing the door open. Or how they left the car there without the bell ringing. But that trembling yes was the only thing you managed to utter. The moose. The moose? After a few seconds of not receiving any response, you decide to break the silence. Give them directions to the moose? Continue straight until the first crossroads and turn right. After a while, you'll see the bar past the barn with the painted cross. You can't miss it. None of the men in black open their mouths. Every second that passes, the smile on your face feels more and more ridiculous. The moose. You bought a woman a whiskey. You don't know if it's the right move, but you try to relax and be more friendly. Do you know of a more effective way to socialize? You told her the dream about your grandma. A chill runs through your body. It's been a few weeks since that night. And even though you had a good time with Martha and have no regrets, something about the way these men in black ask their questions makes you uneasy. What do you want to know? Granny in the forest. One of the men further back lets out a cracking noise. You look at him believing he's laughing, but the man in black's expression doesn't change. Tell them about your dream. My grandma has been bedridden for over 60 years, but in the dream I saw her running through the woods. Start from the beginning, and don't omit any details. You don't know if it's the way that they look at you or because of a certain authority in their voice, but you tell them everything about it, about the dream. It's the suit, man. The suit gives them authority automatically, you know? 5 or 6 weeks ago, you woke up in the middle of the night, certain that something had happened to your grandma. You ran up to her room, and Elise wasn't in bed. The window was wide open. You ran to it and saw someone walking through the trees. It was her, and she was holding a rifle of the kind your ancestors would have carried in the Civil War. You tried to call out to her. Your grandma started running and shot 2 or 3 times into the blackness of the forest. You were about to go down to find her, when a winged figure with glowing red eyes appeared in front of the window and screamed. You stumbled backwards, and after hitting your head on the bedpost, you lost consciousness. You woke up in your bed and remembered the dream, almost instantly. You went up the stairs 2 at a time and opened the door to her room. Your grandmother slept peacefully. On the bedside table was a glass of milk you bring her every night, and the deck of cards she uses to play solitaire. During the days that followed, you tried to convince yourself that it had all been a dream, even though you couldn't explain where the little stitches at the base of your skull had come from. After a few seconds, one of the men in black speaks again. The spots on her legs predate her birth. Halt. What? What is he talking about? Is he referring to the dozens of moles on her grandma's legs? And what do they mean by saying those spots predate her birth? Elsie always makes the same joke when you sponge her calves. Be thankful that you have to clean my legs, and not my grandfather's. According to what she told you, her granddad had been shot dead by an experimental weapon earlier in the Civil War, when his legs were ripped to shreds. The Winnan steam gun, son. A submachine gun that doesn't appear in any book. You think about the replica you're putting together in the workshop, and you wonder if it was the men in black who had stolen those pieces. You're not telling anyone else about this visit, Holt. You start to complain when one of the men in black picks up a card from the counter. The top card of the deck. The crunch horrifies you. The teeth of the man in black seem to tear more than simply paper. Desperate, you throw yourself under the counter and look for the card. Your heart is pounding. You look out the window and you don't see the Cadillac. You walk to where the car was parked a few moments ago. You step on the hose, and the bell rings. What the fuck? Jack of diamonds. Motherfucker, it's red. You think about the edge one of the men in black tore off, and you remember the noise he made when he chewed it. Was it a threat? A warning? You wonder if you should tell your grandma everything that happened, or just keep your mouth shut. And keep playing solitaire with a marked card. Can't play with a marked card, man, that's cheating. I mean, it's solitaire, so nobody cares, right? You're playing against yourself. Ah, I see. What's wrong? I told you it's nothing. That damn pause again. There's something she's not saying. The Mustang purrs. You shake your head, feeling sad inside. The sound of an engine hides no secrets. Lee, you're right. You bite your lip and sigh. Why is everything so damn hard? Victoria settles into her seat. Let's start over, okay? Where are we going? It's a surprise. Please. No, Vic. Have some patience. You'll never forget this night. Victoria giggles and you think that this is the best gift in the world. For a moment, you forget all the previous discussions, your obsessions. A giggle, a friendly gesture, making someone feel good ain't rocket science. You look at the clock and can't believe your eyes. You left your house on time, but you're pretty late. How could... You step on the gas. Lee. Lee. You scratch the side of your head. Wow, you really hate being told how to drive. Lee? Why doesn't she just tell you to slow down? You take your foot off the gas. Thanks. You're trying your best. You really think Victoria could be the one? The one. Your dad once said that the perfect woman doesn't exist. Couples form when people get tired of looking and just give up. You remember your mother's rants, all those women's names she rattled off as if they were part of an endless grocery list. You won't end up like him. Anything but that. You try to smile and force yourself to be more cheerful. You want a clue? Yes. Victoria looks into your eyes, and you feel a warmth on your face that takes you by surprise. You felt the same thing the first time you saw her in college. You kept looking at her for a few seconds that seemed like forever. What? Do I have a booger? Where? You can't help laughing out loud and have a hard time containing the urge to kiss her. Give her a clue about the date? It happened 100 years ago. Victoria answers almost immediately. After all, you're both majoring in history. The end of the Civil War. No, not 1865. I mean exactly 100 years ago, Vic. Oh, let me think then. You're running out of time. There was a cholera outbreak in 1866, right? Cold. And how twisted do you think I am to set up a date themed around a cholera outbreak from a century ago? Give her a clue about the origin. It comes from far away. Victoria makes a gesture for you to complete the sentence. You just shrug. It comes from far away? I mean, that could be anything. Guess then. The circus? Freezing cold. Clue about the myth. One would be a source of superstition, but we're talking thousands. A source of superstition? A black cat? Victoria looks at you expectantly, desperate to be right. No, Vic. Just give me a minute. You won't guess it unless... You reach out to open the glove box and Victoria grabs your wrist. Better leave it to me. Victoria opens the glove box and examines its contents. A folder, a box, a flashlight. What are you looking for exactly? Look in the box. Victoria takes out the box and opens it. Let's see what you've been hiding. You think about saying something, but you instantly regret it and keep your mouth shut. Spare change, a lighter, a pack of cigarettes. Nothing to worry about, I reckon. Keep looking, please. Look at the folder. Victoria opens the folder and examines the documents. Some papers, insurance details. Do you want me to read some of this? You shake your head. Flashlight? A book. 1966 Shelby Mustang. The car handbook? No, not that. What else? Tell her to see if there's something more. I already got everything out. 1 second. There's this too. Victoria stretches out her hand and you finally grab the map you wanted. It was folded against the bottom of the glove box. You start talking and Victoria interrupts you. Hold that thought while I put everything back. You put the map on the dashboard while Victoria puts away the folder, the box, the flashlight. Vic, you know I like it tidy in there. Ha, very funny. Vic flicks through the book that she found. Read Badge of Courage. Haven't you read this book 1,000 times already? You know she's testing you. Vic knows exactly why you carry it everywhere. The novel that portrays the era that you're obsessed with like no other. What the hell is this? Suddenly remember you're using the pencil sketch that Victoria drew of you in one of your classes as a bookmark. A sketch she begged you with tears in her eyes to destroy and you swore you already had. Vic, I'm sorry. I swear. Watch out! You swerve to avoid a shape in the road. Victoria looks back. Lee? We almost ran that thing over. You put your hand on Vic's shoulder, trying to reassure her. Victoria points ahead. Just keep your eyes on the road, please. She's doing it again, telling you how to drive. Well, you did almost have an accident, so I guess it's fair. This time she came right out with it, instead of just saying Lee disapprovingly. You try to control yourself, but it's hard. It's not just this last thing, but the build-up of all the small gestures. You take the map and throw it on her lap. Victoria raises her arms in disbelief. The Leonids, Victoria. We're gonna have dinner watching the Leonids. Victoria says nothing. Forgive me for trying to arrange the perfect date. You try to keep silent, but you can't hold it in. A meteor shower. A phenomenon associated with the passage of Temple Tuttle Comet every 33 years. Victoria keeps staring ahead. In 1866, it was one of the most spectacular meteor showers ever recorded. I saw some lithographs in the library. Victoria doesn't even move. Everyone makes a wish on a shooting star. Imagine how many wishes you can make with thousands of stars shooting through the sky. Victoria settles in her seat. You know what, Lee? Shut up. You've never heard that tone before from her. Just keep quiet until we reach... She pauses as she examines the map he threw on her lap. Holt Station? You feel your heart pounding. Her hands are shaking. That's what she wants? For you to keep quiet? For you not to say a goddamn word? Your hand grips the wheel tight. All the preparations you made for tonight. Your friend Freddy had worked out the ideal place to see them in all their splendour away from the city lights. And when you noticed Holt Station was inside the area, you didn't hesitate. But now Vic had ruined it. What the fuck? Something hits the Mustang's antenna. What the hell is that? Stop, Lee. Stop! Okay. You slam on the brakes. Instinctively, you put a hand in front of Victoria to keep her from hitting the windshield. You get out of the car and find a dead bat in front of the headlights. The animal had hit the antenna and somehow got entangled. You can't believe it. What are the odds of something like this happening? Don't bats have some advanced echolocation system? Like a submarine sonar? What starts as a simple grunt in your throat emerges as a helpless scream. Fuck! This is what I get for trying to do something different. We should have gone to the movies. Lee... Vic's whispering. It doesn't take long to see why. Over there. The coyote is watching you from where the dark of the forest meets the light of the moon. Vic, we got this. It's not interested in us. You point to the dead bat. They're scavengers. You hear a growl that quickly multiplies. Suddenly you're surrounded. It's not the first time that you face coyotes in the woods, but you aren't taking any chances. When I say, run to the car as fast as you can. You try to recall all the advice you've heard for situations like these. Make lots of noise, wave your arms around. One of the coyotes in front of you approaches. Yell and gesture. Yell at one of the coyotes on this side of the car? Oh my god, does it matter? Yell at the coyote in the center, I don't care. Another coyote advances. You look into its watery, bloodshot eyes. Yell and gesture. On this side of the car, left. Middle. Again? Uh-oh. Shit. 3 coyotes advance at once, yelling or waving your arms around won't be enough this time. Bang on the hood. The trick seems to work and the coyotes back down. No coyote advance this time. It's your chance to go on the offensive. Run to the car. Now. You try to reach the car, but ferocious teeth intercept you. Encouraged by your screams, the rest of the coyotes soon join the feast. Oh man, I died. Now we gotta do this again. This side of the car on your right. This side of the car left. This side of the car middle. Multiple. Yep. Bang on the hood. I guess we gotta throw a stone then. I thought we just run for it. I thought attacking them would just make them more angry, right? I don't really want to attack it. Throw the stone. You crouch down and find 4 stones. You pick them up. The coyote retreats into the dark of the forest. Nice. The stone flies to the right of the middle coyote, making the one closest to it also retreat. Other side of the car. Behind you to your right. And that one. Run to the car. Now. You get in the car, close the doors, and Victoria starts laughing. Although you know the reaction is more adrenaline than anything else, you start laughing too, and then kiss her. You start up the car, and the V8 roars into life. You resume the trip. After a few wordless minutes, you suddenly remember something. Halt. Vic. We're going to Holt's gas station. Victoria starts whistling. The doubts, the fears, everything seems a bit ridiculous now. You think about the plans you made for tonight and smile. You really like to hear her whistle. Much coffee. We get to play as Victoria now. Okay. Lee turns off the car and looks you in the eye. He smiles, and that smile seriously pisses you off. Why? He's gonna kill me if I don't. Smile back. You try to return the smile, but you feel the hatred burning inside you. But it's not just Lee. The problem goes deeper. Why'd you choose to smile? Why is it so hard to tell him? Wait here, Vic. I swear you won't believe it. You bite your lip and take a deep breath. You see him greet someone. Halt? Lee had written Holt Station on the map he'd thrown on your lap 20 minutes ago. He'd written it by hand, and it might as well have said Hort Station or Halt Station. Hell Station, even. Lee's handwriting has always been intriguing to you. You remember that time you mentioned it to him, and he responded with disproportionate anger, a nonsensical rant which involved several philosophers of language. And all because you told him that his handwriting was dreadful. But you now know where those reactions come from. Where? That night you two got drunk by the lake, Lee told you that his father would have wanted to be born ugly. After the initial surprise, you couldn't stifle a belly laugh. And Lee looked down. For a few minutes, he didn't want to tell you anything else. You finally convinced him to continue. I always got what I wanted just by smiling. Ugly people have to develop other muscles. Unfortunately, those other muscles are the ones that last. You couldn't believe those words had come out of the mouth of a flesh and blood human being. Maybe some poorly written character from a cheap romantic novel. But Lee's father? You picture Lee that night, throwing pebbles from the shore while telling you everything about his father's teachings. All that frustration. Was that the night you got pregnant? You've both been drinking. Suddenly, you find it difficult to breathe. The interior of the car feels like it's getting smaller and smaller. You need some air. Say hi. Holt, right? Holt seems startled. Hello. This is Victoria, my girlfriend. Be right back, Vic. You see them walk away with a box that they took out of the trunk. And from the effort Holt's putting in, it seems heavy. What's inside the box? You're not stupid. You know that Lee has some business on the side beyond his work as an intern at the university. You heard some rumours, and you have your suspicions. However, you never did too much digging. You preferred to keep it a mystery, something to make Lee a little bit more interesting. You light a cigarette. Would Lee be a good father? I don't think so. He seems like an angry man to me. And the question that you still haven't had the courage to ask. Would you be a good mother? The clicks repeat at irregular intervals. Small moths approach the light to get electrocuted. Is that love, Victoria? You laugh and shake your head from side to side. You think of all the manuscripts that you've torn up. You've tried poetry, drawing. History seemed like an obvious choice. You don't need any talent to be a historian. Oh my god, brutal. Sorry all you historians out there. Hello? That's a pretty ruthless burn. The man talks to himself while holding something in his hand. Have you seen any winged creatures flying over the area yet? Like birds? For a moment you think he's asking some kind of tricky question, and you remain silent. However, something about him tells you that he's genuinely asking. You look at the man bathed in the shine of the streetlight, and the scene fascinates you. Surreal, some of your old friends would have said. The ones that organised poetry nights and read L'Outremont. Excuse me, you are... Oh yes, sorry. Hi. Hill, sorry. Lou Hill. Writer. Victoria Greenberry. Because it's not ripe yet. History student. Winged creatures, Mr. Hill? Lou, please. Can I call you Victoria? You nod. I'm looking into about a dozen reports, Victoria. Numerous witnesses claim to have seen human-sized winged creatures flying over the area. Angels? Lou smiles, but the smile doesn't last long in his face. Look there, at the top of the trees. It won't take you long to find one. You aim at the area Lou just told you. Everything's blurry, so you decide to adjust the binoculars. Diopter? Focusing wheel. Okay, focusing wheel. Left. Oh man. Let's do the diopter. You move the diopter to the left and notice the change in your left eye. Ah, there you go. What the? It was just a second, but you think you saw something up there. Was it suggestion? I don't think they're angels, Victoria. But before I tell you my theory, I need your help. Could you draw on this notebook what you just saw? Sure. At any other time, you would have refused with some witty comment. But there's something about Lou Hill that invites you to play along. Why would you refuse? Like, how's it going to hurt? I mean, I would refuse, but that's because I can't draw. But you said you tried drawing, so... You wonder if the fact that he presented himself as a writer had something to do with it. Do you do head first? It's like a little owl head? Yeah, like that. Body? Sure, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, like that. There you go. Before giving it back, you write some notes further describing what you saw. Lou hadn't asked for them, but somehow they make you feel less anxious. You never felt confident about your work. Lou looks at the notebook for a few seconds. They feel too long. You think about that time you showed your sketches to your art teacher and how he embarrassed you in front of the rest of the class. Motherfucker. What? Sorry. I was talking to myself. You can't help but blush. Victoria? For once, you're glad to hear Lee's voice. Fucking hell, she's so brutal. Aren't you two a couple? Why do you hate him so much? And if you do, why are you hanging out with him? All good? Although he seems to be talking to you, Lee keeps staring at Lou. Lou Hill. Writer. Lou holds out his hand. Lee Miller, historian. Lee walks over and puts his arms around you, his back to Lou. You know he must have been annoyed that Lou introduced himself as a writer. Although it's hard for you to admit it, you like to be hugged. You feel safe. You think you would also feel safe in your grandmother's arms, or in the arms of any other strong woman in your family. But the heat of Lee's body, the hardness of his muscles. You remember all those biologists' arguments that you hate so much, and you can't help but smile. It's like you're cheating when nobody's looking. Come on, Vic. Let's see the surprise. Close your eyes. Okay. You close your eyes and let Lee guide you. Now open them. So, what do you think? A romantic dinner for two, under the same meteor shower that amazed our ancestors? You instinctively put your hand to your belly, and when you realize it, you quickly put it into your pocket. You look at the dog tied to the post. Yikes, look at it. The dog growls into the dark. Are you sure that's a dog and not a, werewolf? Because I'm pretty sure that's a werewolf. Just saying. Looks like a werewolf to me, man. Alright, we need to wrap this one up because we're out of time for today, but I'm interested to see where this is going. If we go through on a second playthrough or something, can we choose other characters to see the chapter's perspective? Because we got Holt here, but we also got Lee here, and we got Victoria here. So we have to do this chapter as Holt, but can we come through and do it as Victoria or Lee next time? I hope so. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.